Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Dai, and today I am bringing you my March manga haul. As you can see, the stack is kind of big and it is perilously shaking, so let's get into it. Off the top here, I have volume 1 of Failed Princesses. This is by Ajiichi, published by 7 Seas, rated teen. This is a contemporary story about a girl who finds out that her boyfriend is cheating and her relationship with one of her fellow students changes completely. I believe that is what this is about. On the back here it says opposites attract. So my daughter was really interested in this one when we had gone to the Barnes & Noble for the manga club meeting, and so I decided to go ahead and pick it up for her. We don't have a lot of Yuri in our collection, so I'm trying to bump that up as well, so that was a good step in that direction. Next up off the top here, I have volume 1 of Yakuza Reincarnated, art by Hiroki Miyashita, story by Takeshi Natsuhara. This one is published by 7 Seas and is rated older teen. If I'm not mistaken, this one is about a Yakuza member who gets transported into another world and wakes up as a princess? Something like that. I don't read a lot of isekai stories, but this one sounded interesting, and so I thought I'd give that one a go. Then I tried to fill in a gap in my collection, and so I picked up 6 volumes of Takane and Hana. So I have volume 11, volume 12, volume 14, volume 15, volume 16, and volume 17. And so that fills in a good portion of what I have outstanding in my collection. I think now I'm only missing volumes 10 and 13. And they had volume 13 at the store, but it was all bust up, and so I decided to just skip that one. I'll order it again sometime, but for now I have a good portion of that series. It's one that I am really looking forward to experiencing, but can't because I have holes in my collection. Next up, I have volume 2 of Rose and Blood. This one is by Kachiru Ishizue. Did I even tell you who Takane Hana was by? Yuki Shiwasu. This one is published by Viz and is rated teen. Rose and Blood, volume 2. Kachiru Ishizue, published by Viz, rated older teen. This is a vampire story. That's all I know about it. I don't like to know a lot about the stuff that I pick up or read. And so all I know is that this one is about vampires. That was good enough for me. I decided to go ahead and start collecting that one. Then I have volume 2 of Our Not So Lonely Planet Travel Guide. This one is by Mone Sorai, published by Tokyo Pop, and is rated teen. This one is about a male-male couple who decide to go on one last trip around the world before they settle down and get married. I really enjoyed volume 1. They had visited countries that I was never interested in visiting, and so to see the things that they were doing and the foods that they were eating was really interesting to me. I'm still not interested in going to those countries that they visited, but I am not much of a traveler anyway. So yeah, it's really neat to see things through other people's eyes and see like countries and experiences and things, especially when you yourself are not really interested in actually taking that step, getting on a plane, traveling to another country and just experiencing it in real life. That's definitely not for me because it's just not my thing. I do not like to travel. But I enjoyed their trip in the first part, and so I'm looking forward to seeing where they're visiting in this next part. It looks like it's Italy, France, Germany, and Finland, so that should be interesting. A couple of the pictures back here look very fun, and so yeah, my daughter's been to a couple of these countries. She did go on a European kind of tour after high school, and so yeah, she's seen some of those places. I have not. But I'm looking forward to seeing these countries and what they get up to there as well. Next up, I have volume 1 of Imakoi, Now I'm in Love, story and art by Ayuko Hata. This one's published by Viz and is rated teen. This is, I believe, just a romance story. I thought it sounded interesting, and so I decided to go ahead and give that one a go. Next up, I have Volume 4 of Mao, story and art by Rumiko Takahashi, published by Viz, rated older teen. This is a historical mystery, and I'm looking forward to getting into that. Next up, I have Volume 2 of Animal Crossing, Deserted Island Diary. This one is story and art by Kokonasu Rumba, published by Viz, and is rated all ages. I just think this looks super adorable, and I have enjoyed playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. It is the first Animal Crossing game I have ever played, and I just really enjoyed it, and so obviously had to pick up the manga. Next up, I have Volume 1 of Alice in Bishonen Land, published by Tokyo Pop, rated teen, I believe. This is kind of a play on Alice in Wonderland, but it has to do with an otome game. And so I thought it sounded interesting, and I'm going to give it a go. Next up, I have a couple purchases for my daughter. She was really interested in Sasaki and Miyano. This one is by Shoharu Sono, published by Yen Press, rated teen. We had heard about the anime and the fact that Shiraimu and Saito Soma were voicing the characters, and so immediate interest, and so we decided to start collecting the manga. I was very surprised to see how thin these volumes are, but the art style looks gorgeous, and so I'm looking forward to checking this one out, and so is my daughter. We do have volumes 3 through 5 on order, so hopefully those will come in soon. Next up, I have Volume 1 of Bungo Stray Dogs 1, original story by Kafka Asagiri, art by Neko Kanai, character design by Sango Harukawa. This one is published by Yen Press, rated teen. This is the chibified version of our Bungo Stray Dogs characters that we know and love, and they're up to a bunch of shenanigans, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they get themselves into. Next up, I have Volume 2 of I Was Reincarnated as the Villainess in an Otome Game, but the boys love me anyway. This one is by Ataka and Su Inaida and Hachi Pisu Wan. This one is published by Tokyo Pop, rated teen. This one is an isekai where our main character gets transported into a popular dating sim and is the main villainess, but obviously the boys love her anyway, and so I thought that sounded super fun. Decided to give that one a go. I'm not quite sure how many volumes this one is going to have, but yeah, I picked up Volume 1 a couple months ago. Have not gotten into it yet, but it sounds fun. Next up, I have Volume 5 of Mint Chocolate by Mami Orikasa. This one's published by Yen Press, rated teen. I believe this is a step-sibling romance, I think. Haven't jumped into it yet, but I think that one's going to be fun. Next up, I have Volume 8 of Phantom Tales of the Night, and my copy came in kind of hamajang, or that's just a slang that my family uses, but it means bust up, pretty much. But anyway, this is a story about an innkeeper who trades sanctuary for secrets. I have really, really enjoyed this. It definitely gives me those vibes of Nightmare Inspector, which I've talked about in the past, and that one's by Shin Mashiba. But yes, really enjoyed this one. The stories in here are very interesting. They do make you think, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to more adventures with these characters and more tales that have, most of them have kind of a spooky twist on it. It's not spooky enough where it keeps me up at night, but it's definitely creepy. Next up, you know we had to get it, is Persona 5 Mementos Mission Volume 2. This one is by Roruko Saito, published by Udon, original works by Atlas. This is a no question purchase for my daughter. She's a big fan of this franchise, and so I believe this one came out early, and it was at the store when we went to go to the manga club meeting, and so picked that one up immediately. And then we had seen on the shelf Persona 5 the animation, the artworks, so I believe this is an art book. And like I said, my daughter is a big fan of this franchise, so she absolutely had to have that one. She was also interested in this one. This is Restart After Coming Back Home and Restart After Growing Hungry. I believe this is volume 1 and this is volume 2. This is a BL romance that inspired a hit live action film. I don't know much about it. My daughter read the backs of these. She thought it sounded interesting, and so I obviously gave in and purchased them for her. This has story and art by Kokomi, published by 7 Seas, rated teen. So I'll probably be checking that one out sometime. Next up, I have 2 volumes of I Am a Cat Barista, story and art by Hiro Maijima, published by 7 Seas, rated teen. This one sounded super cute about a cat barista, and so I thought I'd check that one out. This one too is on the thinner side though. I've noticed several series have started coming out recently that are thinner. This one is black and white though. But 2 of the other volumes I am reading this month for the manga club are thinner and they are full color. So yeah, we're getting a lot of thinner volumes. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it is what it is. Next up, I have volume 1 of Island in a Puddle by Kei Sanbei, creator of Erased. I haven't read Erased, but it is one that sounds interesting to me. This one is published by Kodansha and is rated older teen. I believe this is a story with a horror twist. If I remember correctly, this one is about these kids who get dropped off or go to an amusement park, and while they're on the Ferris wheel, it gets stuck, and then they see some horrific things in their reflections, if I remember correctly. It is something like that. It sounded intriguing to me, and so I thought, why not pick it up and see? I'm always down for a horror manga, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what that one's all about. Next up, I have volume 4 of Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost by Kaori Yuki, published by Kodansha, rated older teen. And I believe this is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. The art style of Kaori Yuki is gorgeous, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing what this one is about. I have read Grand Guignol Orchestra by this mangaka, and thought that was really interesting, as well as the little short story that was at the end. And so I'm looking forward to seeing her take on this story. Next up, I have volume 1 of Penguin and House. Those penguins look so adorable. This one is by Akiho Ieda, published by Kodansha, rated all ages. And so I believe this is a slice of life story, and it says with pancakes and laughter galore. And so I'm looking forward to checking this one out and seeing all of the super cute, rotund penguins. Next up, I have volume 7 of the collector's edition of Maison Ikoku by Rumiko Takahashi. This one's published by Viz, rated older teen. As you know, I've been collecting this one for a while. I have watched a bit of the anime, so I know the general premise about this. This is a boarding house story, and I believe there is a romance somewhere within it. At least that was the general idea I got from the episodes that I watched. Did watch it several years ago, and so I'm just collecting this one to have it, and then I will finally read it once I have everything. Next up, I have a light novel. This is The Long, Long Goodbye of the Last Bookstore. This is by Mizuki Nomura, illustrations by Miho Takeoka. This one is published by Yen on ages 13 and up, so that is teen. This says the bond between books and readers carries beyond the page. I believe this one follows the aftermath of the owner of this bookstore's passing. So they're getting ready to close it down, and then there's some kind of connection between the books and the owner or something like that. It sounded intriguing to me, and so I decided to go ahead and add that one to my collection. I've seen a couple booktubers pick that one up as well, which is great because you don't often see people who don't read manga dive into light novels, and so I am really pleased to see that on other people's channels that I follow who don't normally read manga. Then I have the final volume of Oku. This is volume 19 by Fumi Yoshinaga. This is published by Viz and is rated mature. I have been highly anticipating this one because it is the last volume, and so I'll have everything and I can read it at my leisure. Not normally my thing because it is historical, but it has a twist in there where the women are the rulers, or is the emperor, and so I'm intrigued. Next up I have volume 10 of Living Room Matsunaga-san. This one is published by Kodansha, rated older teen. This is a boarding house romance with an age gap. I enjoyed the first 3 volumes. I'm looking forward to continuing with that one. And the art style is lovely as well. I've got another light novel here. This is volume 2 of The Haunted Bookstore, Gateway to a Parallel Universe by Shinobu Maru. This one is published by 7 Seas, rated teen. And I'm not quite sure what this one is about. I think the bookstore has, or is the divider, the gateway between this world and a spiritual world. Something like that. I'm intrigued. I'm definitely going to be jumping into this series sometime this year. I'm thinking about doing light novel November. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that one. I really need to get some of the light novels that I have read. They all sound super interesting to me, and I just don't make the time to read them. I don't know why. I really do need to read them, though, because, like I said, I'm really intrigued by several of the ones that I've picked up. But, yeah, when I'm looking for things to fit into readathons or my TBR game, I just don't think of light novels first off. I always think of just regular novels. And then I'll think of manga, but yeah, light novels seem to always escape my memory. So I definitely need to find a way to put an emphasis on reading light novels sometime this year. So the last volume I have is volume 2 of The Splendid Work of a Monster Maid by Yugata Tanabe. This one is published by Yen Press and is rated older teen. And again, not quite sure what this one's about. I kind of remember it being about a cat who has lived with a woman for a long time and then finally learns how to speak. This is that story of the aftermath of that. So, yeah. The maid on the front of this book looks a little bit Frankensteinish. Like pieces of her were put together from something else. So I could be mistaken, but maybe that's just the story that's in the first volume and we're getting a bunch of different stories in different volumes. Not quite sure, but again, we've got another thin volume. So yeah, I've got several like thinner volumes in this haul, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure how I feel about the smaller volumes of manga that are coming out, especially like this one's $15. The price isn't like going down because you have less pages, but yeah, I don't know. It just seems like a lot more volumes that I've been picking up lately have been on the thinner side, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. But let me know what you think about the thinner volumes coming out more recently. Are you picking up more series, or do you find that you're picking up more volumes that seem to be on the thinner side, or not? I think for me, I'm definitely seeing more thinner volumes than I'm used to. But it's still worth it for me to pick up these volumes because it brings me joy. And you can't put a price on joy, at least not in my opinion. So I am looking forward to diving into some of these, hopefully in the near future. I know my daughter will be getting to several of these, especially now that she is out of school. So that's a big thing for us going on and something to be celebrated. And so, yeah. Again, let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on thinner volumes. If you've been picking up more than you have in the past, have you picked up any of these volumes or have you read any of these series? Let me know your thoughts on them, but please no spoilers. And if nothing else, if you could like this video and leave me a cat emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated. That would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.